welcome to the deep dive. Money is, well, it's everywhere. It affects every single one of us, right?
Right.
No matter our background or what we're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. It's universal.
And yet, it's still somehow really confusing for most people. We all sort of approach it differently with our own ideas.
Which often leads to decisions that, from the outside, look completely baffling.
Exactly. So today we're taking a deep dive into Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. It's incredibly insightful.
It really is.
And our mission really is to dig into this profound idea he presents, that doing well with money, it has way less to do with how smart you are.
And much, much more to do with just your behavior.
Yeah.
And that's precisely where so many of us get tripped up, I think. We're sort of taught to see money like it's physics.
Right, like formulas and rules.
Exactly. Universal laws that if you just, apply them correctly, you get a predictable outcome. But Housel's point, and what makes the book so compelling, is that money is much more like psychology. It's all tangled up with our emotions, our personal histories, all that human nuance.
So it's like we're using the wrong tools.
Pretty much, trying to solve a psychological puzzle with math. And that's why so many people, even really brilliant ones, struggle with it. It's not just what you know.
It's how you act.
Precisely. How you behave.
And Housel really drives that point home with some pretty memorable stories, almost unbelievable, actually.
Oh, yeah, the anecdotes are fantastic.
Okay, picture this. A super successful tech executive. I mean, a certified genius.
Right, the Wi-Fi patent guy.
Yeah. Designed and patented a key part of Wi-Fi routers in his 20s. Started companies, sold them for millions, built a fortune. You'd think, okay, financial whiz, right?
Absolutely. Should have it made.
But his relationship with money, Housel calls it a mix of insecurity and childish stupidity.
Oof. That's telling.
He gets wilder. He'd carry thick wads of cash, brag loudly, often when drunk.
Wow.
And then, one day, he gets a colleague to buy thousands in gold coins. Only to then go and skip them across the Pacific Ocean, threw them into the ocean, said it was just for fun.
Sure fun, okay.
And another time, shatters a $500 lamp in a hotel restaurant. Manager asks him to cover it politely.
Reasonable request.
He pulls out a brick of cash, throws down $5,000, and yells, "Now get out of my face, and don't ever insult me like that again."
Good grief. That's wow.
And the result of all this impulsive, frankly crazy behavior,
Let me guess. Not good.
he went completely broke. All that brilliance, all that success, just undone by his behavior around money.
A total lack of emotional control, it sounds like.
Exactly. Now, contrast that whole extravagant mess with Ronald Read.
Yes. The janitor.
The janitor from rural Vermont, first in his family to finish high school, hitchhiked to campus.
Humble beginnings.
Very. Fixed cars for 25 years, swept floors at JCPenney for another 17, lived a really modest life, bought a small house for $12,000 when he was 38, lived there his whole life, widowed young, never remarried. His main hobby, chopping firewood.
Just a quiet, frugal life, off the radar.
Completely. But then he dies at 92, and suddenly he's making international news.
Right, because this unassuming janitor...
Had amassed a net worth over $8 million.
Incredible. Just incredible.
Left millions to his stepkids, and even more, like $6 million, to the local hospital and library.
Wow. So if we connect these two stories, Ronald Read's life just completely flips the script, doesn't it?
Totally.
It powerfully argues against the idea that you need high intelligence or complex strategies for financial success.
Yeah, no inheritances, no lottery wins.
Nothing dramatic. He just consistently saved what little he could, year in, year out.
And invested it.
Right, in solid, dependable blue chip stocks. And just let it sit. For decades.
Letting that compounding work its magic.
Exactly. Letting those tiny savings patiently grow into a fortune. It shows financial success is mostly a soft skill.
Patience, humility, thinking long term.
Yes, not timing the market or having a genius IQ. And it's such a stark contrast to someone like Richard Fuscone.
Oh, the Merrill Lynch exec.
Yeah, Harvard educated, retired in his 40s, should have been set, but he went bankrupt.
Because of that huge mansion. Right, borrowed heavily.
An 18,000 square foot place, 11 bathrooms, 2 pools. He had the intelligence, like the tech exec, but not the temperament.
Whereas Read had the temperament, the patience.
Precisely. Read just embodied that enduring, steady financial behavior.
It's such a unique situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. What other field?
Right.
What other specialized area sees a janitor with zero formal training outperform a Harvard-educated executive.
You'd never see that in surgery, for example.
Never. But in investing, these stories aren't just flukes. They show something fundamental about how money works, or maybe how people work with money.
That's a great way to put it.
And this flows really nicely into Housel's next big idea. No one's crazy.
Ah, yes. This one really resonates.
It forces you to kind of reevaluate how you judge other people's money decisions. He basically argues that, depending on your generation, your parents, the economy you grew up in, sheer luck, you just learn different lessons about money.
So what seems totally irrational to you?
Might make perfect sense to someone else, based purely on their life experience.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah, like JFK. He said he had no first-hand knowledge of the Depression.
Right, because his wealthy family actually did better during that time.
Exactly. Bigger houses, more servants, while others lost everything. His view of economic risk must have been completely different.
Worlds apart from someone who lived through that hardship.
Or there's that study by Malmendier and Nagel.
Oh yeah, the one about early adult experiences anchoring investment decisions.
That's the one. If you grew up with high inflation, you're less likely to buy bonds later. Strong stock market when you were young. You tend to invest more in stocks.
It's not about how smart you are, it's the dumb luck of when you were born, basically.
It really shapes your worldview. And then there's the lottery ticket example.
That's a powerful one.
Low-income household spending, on average, over $400 a year on lottery tickets. Often the same people who couldn't cover a $400 emergency.
Which seems illogical, right? Irresponsible even from a purely financial standpoint.
But Housel explains their perspective. Buying a lottery ticket is the only time we can hold a tangible dream of getting the good stuff that you already have.
And take for granted. Yeah, it reframes it completely.
It's not crazy if you understand the context. It's maybe a rational response to feeling stuck.
Which raises such a critical question for all of us, doesn't it? How much do our own personal experiences, which are just a tiny sliver of what's happened globally, but make up like 80% of how we see the financial world?
Right.
How much do those experiences blind us to why others make the choices they do?
We build our own stories about money.
Exactly. Shaped by our unique journey, our economic generation, all the biases we don't even realize we have.
So when we see someone do something that looks financially irrational,
it's probably because we're not seeing it through their lens, their often emotionally charged financial lens.
So it's less about saying they're wrong.
And more about acknowledging that their financial truth might just be different, forged by different experiences. Our own rationality is almost always tied to our history.
That's a really crucial insight. And understanding your own lens, your own biases, that leads straight into the dangers of never enough.
Ah, the goalpost problem.
Yeah, because if you don't understand yourself, how can you guard against always wanting more? Look at Rajat Gupta.
The McKinsey CEO. Incredible story.
Phenomenal CEO, titan of business, built a $100 million fortune. More money than most people could ever dream of.
Absolutely set for life, you'd think.
But he wanted to be a billionaire. Wanted it so badly.
He got involved in insider trading. Tipped off Rajaratnam about the Buffett investment in Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. And that relentless chase for more, even when he already had so much.
Led to prison, ruined reputation. Just catastrophic.
Bernie Madoff is another, maybe even more extreme example. Had immense wealth, prestige.
But still wanted more. Built that massive Ponzi scheme, destroyed countless lives, lost everything himself. It's tragic.
It is.
You know, what's really fascinating here is this almost compulsive need for more, even when you've already got incredible wealth. Warren Buffett said something profound about that hedge fund, long-term capital management. Remember them?
True.
Run by geniuses, Nobel laureates even.
Right, and they imploded spectacularly in '98.
They did. And Buffett said, to make money they didn't have and didn't need, they risked what they did have and did need. And that's foolish.
That cuts right to it. Risking what you need for something you don't.
And arguably the hardest financial skill is just getting that goalpost to stop moving.
Because we're always comparing ourselves, right?
Always. Social comparison is relentless. You're always looking up the ladder. And that ceiling is so high, basically no one ever hits it.
An unwinnable race.
Totally. And that striving can just blind you to the risks you're taking, even when you genuinely have, well, enough.
It reminds me of that story Kurt Vonnegut told about his friend Joseph Heller.
Oh, the author of Catch-22.
Yeah. They were at some billionaire's party, and Vonnegut points out their host made more in a single day than Catch-22 had earned in its entire history.
Wow. What did Heller say?
Heller's response was just perfect. He said, Yes, but I have something he will never have.
What?
Enough.
Ah, enough. That's powerful.
Isn't it? Such a liberating word. Enough. Especially when everything pushes you to get more.
Absolutely.
And that idea ties into another concept from House that kind of bends your mind. Confounding compounding.
Right. The power of time.
We tend to think Buffett's success is all about his investing genius. And he is brilliant, no doubt.
Sure, his track record is amazing.
But House points out his real secret isn't just being a good investor. It's being a good investor since he was basically a kid.
He started really young.
Incredibly young.
Wow.
And get this, $84.2 billion of his $84.5 billion net worth came after his 50th birthday.
Wow. The vast majority of it.
But something like $81.5 billion came after he qualified for Social Security.
That's just staggering. It puts his skill in perspective, but highlights the time element massively.
His skill is crucial, but time was the incredible amplifier.
It really shows the exponential power of compounding, which our brains aren't really built to grasp intuitively. We think linearly.
Right. 2 plus 2 plus 2.
Equals 6, easy. But 2 times 2 times 2, repeated 20 times. That's where our intuition breaks down. The numbers get huge fast.
It's hard to visualize.
Exactly. Compare Buffett's, say, 22% annual return over decades with Jim Simons at Renaissance Technologies.
Simons has had even higher returns, right? Like astronomically high.
Yeah, something like 66% annually since 1988. Way better than Buffett's rate.
So he should be richer.
You'd think. But Simons' net worth is about $21 billion, still maybe 75% less than Buffett's.
Why?
Because Simons only really hit his stride investment-wise when he was 50. He had less than half the time for that incredible return to compound compared to Buffett.
So time is the absolute critical factor, more important than even a much higher rate of return over a shorter period.
Unquestionably, it's that exponential growth again, like the penny doubling every day.
Oh yeah, for a month, it ends up being millions, not just 30 cents.
Exactly. Over $5 million. Our intuition fails us there, so we consistently underestimate the power of just sticking with it for the long haul. Patience and time.
Okay, so if chasing more is dangerous and raw intelligence isn't the key driver, what is the real point of money then? What's its true value?
Housel argues it's basically one thing: freedom.
Freedom, not just stuff.
Not primarily stuff, no. It's the ability to wake up and genuinely say, I can do whatever I want today.
Controlling your time.
Controlling your time. Your most valuable, finite resource. That's the highest form of wealth.
There's that psychologist, Angus Campbell.
Right. His research showed that having control over your life is the single most reliable predictor of happiness.
More than salary, house size, anything else.
Exactly. Control.
I totally get that. I remember doing an investment banking internship. Miserable experience.
Oh, really? Why?
Well, the work itself was interesting, actually, intellectually stimulating. But the complete lack of control over my time, the 100-hour weeks, being on call constantly,
Ugh, brutal.
it made it unbearable.
Uh-huh.
I only lasted about a month of the 4 months. It really hammered home Campbell's point for me. No control equals misery, even if the task is okay.
That makes sense. It's like Derek Sivers' story, too.
Oh, the CD Baby founder?
Yeah. He saved up just $12,000 when he was 22.
Which doesn't sound like a huge amount.
No, but it was enough for him to quit his job and become a full-time musician. He always said that was true freedom for him.
Not when he sold his company later for millions.
No, it was that initial $12,000 that gave him back control over his life and let him pursue his passion. That small sum bought him immense freedom.
That's a great perspective. And this idea of freedom, the sort of unseen value, it links perfectly to the man-in-the-car paradox.
Or wealth is what you don't see.
Love that phrasing.
Yeah. Housel talks about working as a valet. When you see a really fancy car pull up a Ferrari, a Porsche.
What do you really think? Do you think, wow, that driver must be so cool?
Probably not usually.
More likely you subconsciously think, wow, if I had that car, people would think I'm cool.
Huh. Yes. We project ourselves onto it.
We use their visible wealth as a benchmark for our own desires, but we rarely admire the person in the car.
It's true. We aspire to have the stuff to get respect, but we don't actually give that respect based on the stuff.
Right. It's a paradox. I remember this guy, Roger, drove a really flashy Porsche everywhere. Everyone assumed he was loaded.
Making assumptions based on the car.
Totally. Then one day, he shows up in this beat-up old Honda. Turns out,
Let me guess. The Porsche wasn't really his.
he got repossessed. He defaulted on the loan. Every assumption about his wealth, based purely on what we could see, was dead wrong.
And connecting that to the bigger picture, That's exactly where the vital difference between being rich and being wealthy comes in.
Okay, explain that distinction.
Rich is about current income. It's often visible, it's flashy, it's the person driving that $100,000 car you see. It's about consumption.
Got it. Spending is visible.
Right. But wealth is hidden. It's the income you didn't spend. It's the assets you haven't turned into fancy, visible things.
So it's unseen potential.
Exactly. Wealth is options not yet taken. It's future choices, flexibility, resilience. It's what gives you control over your time.
Which brings us back to freedom.
Precisely. It allows you to handle life's surprises, maybe change careers, wait for better opportunities, live life more on your own terms.
So saving money isn't just about piling up dollars.
No, it's about creating that hidden, invaluable return. Flexibility, options, control. That's the real payoff, the buffer against uncertainty. It's not what you buy, it's the freedom that comes from what you don't have to spend.
Wow, what a fascinating journey this has been, really digging into the psychology behind our money lives.
It really shifts your perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This deep dive into the psychology of money just underscores how personal our relationship with money is. It's shaped by so much more than numbers or markets, or even how smart we are.
Yeah, it's this complex mix of behavior, our unique history, our emotions. And I think what we've explored today really shows that understanding those behavioral quirks, realizing how much our hidden past shapes our financial truths, and truly getting the value of unseen wealth, that freedom and control,
is way more important than trying to be perfectly rational all the time.
Exactly, because that purely rational approach often just doesn't hold up in the real messy world of human feelings and decisions. Money really is a masterclass in human nature.
It really is. So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
Okay.
Consider how much of your own financial truths, those deeply ingrained beliefs you have about money, about risk, success, even what enough means, how much of that is shaped by a completely unique slice of history that only you have lived through?
That's a good question.
And how might truly understanding that very personal context, how might that change your next money decision? Or even how you view someone else's choices?
Something to definitely reflect on.
Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We hope you're leaving feeling a bit more informed and maybe a whole lot more curious about your own psychology of money.